Thought that was, okay.
There we go.
All right, we're recording now.
Progress indeed. Okay, cool. Let's see if I can share a screen. We have a lot of pictures today, so you guys obviously like phones. Where is my screen? There we go. Share. I think we skipped one. Okay, you should be able to see that. Yes?
Wow.
Anybody?
I can see it.
Oh, okay.
Got it.
That's mine. That's mine. I had to unmute myself. Are we going to start with this one?
Yep.
There you go.
Okay. So this is,
Whoa.
well, maybe not.
That was me.
Okay. This is a church on the campus at Princeton. And I just loved the way when I took the picture with the phone, how it just kind of looked like it was towering up over me. I loved the angles. And of course, I didn't take it in black and white. I turned it into black and white. And because I just thought it brought out the drama in the clouds and the way I don't know what you call it, but the ledging, how it sort of contrasted. And I just really loved the way it created this feeling of immense, this building was immense. And
Very impressive.
Thank you. There's another picture that comes up that I sent because I thought we were trying to do Halloween and fall. So when that one comes up, we can just like through it because that it was also a cell phone picture, but I liked this one since it was open-ended. I sent this one instead or in addition.
I think it's wonderful.
Great, fantastic.
I think it does exactly what you said you wanted it to do, or the impression that you had from it. It's solid. The dark lines are a great delineator of the building. So it's not sort of like just one massive thing. It looks really nice. I'm glad you didn't straighten it.
Yeah, no, I don't think there was any way to do it from that close up.
No, I'm sure there wasn't, but
Yeah. It felt that way when I was looking at it. So it was really nice when it captured that too.
You also, I think you put it in the frame really nicely.
Thank you. Graham?
Also, like the other aspect of looking at it from the side and not getting that much of the entrance. So the entrance is not the focus, which would normally be. So it's a very nice, different look at that structure.
Thank you.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I like this a lot. I think it's well converted. I like the fact that there's detail in the sky. That the things that bug me are all one thing really, which is border patrol. I think it's really tight up here.
Yeah.
This guy here and this guy here, I find are taking me out of the picture. A little more space, but that's it. That's the only observation I have.
Yeah. And I didn't crop it. I actually, when I took the photo, I didn't leave enough room for that space, but yeah, I agree totally. Yeah.
But it's a great image. I like it a lot.
Thank you.
I actually like the way that the top of the building is almost to the top of the frame, but not quite.
Yeah, but those 2 points he's talking about, I could have, yeah.
Well, no, I agree with Graham on the 2 on the right-hand side, but the top I think is good the way it is because it sort of feels like it's going to go on forever into the sky. It's
a highway to heaven.
When I was looking at the photograph, I looked at the top and I thought, oh, I really like the way that there's just a little bit of sky above that. So it's a different of opinion aesthetically.
It's the stairway to heaven, the highway to heaven.
Here comes Led Zeppelin.
Thank you. Thank you all.
Nicely done.
Beautiful. This one's mine, Bob. I learned a couple things in using the iPhone. And most of you probably know them, but I didn't. One was, and I'm not sure I used it on this or not, was a rule of thirds.
Mhm.
If you go to settings, phone, and you can tap grid, and it will, you can easily do the rule of thirds. That was new to me.
Mhm.
The other thing that was new is if you tap on the screen of your iPhone, you can focus on a particular area. And I hadn't known that before I looked at videos and such. But the only thing I did here, I think I did crop it. But I'm a sucker for roads that look like they're leading somewhere. So I think I always do pictures with roads and paths, but this is another one.
It works.
Do you know, Rob, do you know what setting you had your phone on? I mean, like, was it telephoto or was it just, did you
No,
focus
it
on a
was-
certain, did you
No.
focus on a certain point in this film? Because some of the,
I don't
trees-
think I did on this one, no.
yeah, 'cause some of the trees seem a little fuzzy.
Okay,
And I mean, do you have an iPhone?
I do.
Yeah, because generally iPhones take pretty good pictures, this kind of picture, I think. So I would
Okay.
check and see about the focus.
Okay,
Bob, is there
Okay.
a possibility you got mixed up here? This looks like it was, according to the information, which I don't know whether you guys can see, this looks like
No,
it was a Nikon photograph.
really? Oh, I evidently got mixed up when I downloaded. I need a lot of help. I need a lot of help. Yeah. I can't tell a Nikon from an iPhone.
Bob's putting fingers in now, look. So I don't know whether you guys can see up here on the top left.
No,
no.
Oh, it doesn't show you that. How strange.
No.
It's on
Well, I
my.
take back what I said then, Bob.
Yeah,
Sometimes it'll show the data that you're looking at, but not this time.
How strange. I mean, it's clearly here and it's within the shared region. I don't know. Anyway, according to this, it was a Zoom Nikon 24-85.
Yeah.
what was
okay.
the shutter speed?
It was 100th of a second at f8, ISO 200, according to this.
Okay.
So,
Well, if I did use the Nikon, which I evidently did, I didn't use the tripod.
yeah, 100's a bit on the slow side for those of us who are deteriorating in the time scale thing. I pretty much, in fact, I'm trying to think whether I actually took any photos in the Smokies that weren't on a tripod. I think not. I think not. So, yeah, for me, it works a treat. But I think you're seeing Bob is really coming along nicely. And I know you're working with that strange old chap on the technical aspects. So
Yeah.
good
I
progress.
like the composition.
Yeah.
It's nice. It's very nicely seen.
Mhm.
Very nice. Good job.
Good. Thank you.
Maggie? No.
Yep,
it?
that's Maggie. Yep. Yeah, this was one of the pictures that I took while we were out in the beach, probably about two and a half weeks ago. And I thought the perspective of getting down
Mhm.
and kind of Maggie there, kind of making sure that the workers are doing their job in the kitchen. And I just thought it, told like a little story, which means my stepdaughter and my wife was doing all the work. Maggie was keeping an eye on them, and I was just taking pictures.
I think this works really well. I love the fact that you got down on the floor, Bill. How long did it take you to get up?
I pop up like that, yeah.
No, I really like this one. I think it works really well. And it shows nicely that not all photographs should be taken from 5 feet something high.
Mhm.
Yeah, and the expression on a dog.
It's disconcerting to me that whoever's at the refrigerator doesn't have a head.
Oh,
I I think the expression on the dog is fabulous.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh, she is expressive.
What kind of a dog is she, Bill?
White one.
I
She's a mutt. You know,
Okay.
we got her at the rescue at 8 weeks old, but maybe Shih Tzu, some poodle. People
Yeah.
sometimes even say Lapso.
Mhm.
So yeah, her mother was a tramp. That's all. Yeah.
Mm.
like this a lot. I do think that
Yeah.
a bit of selective cropping would have helped on that left-hand edge, and I have some sympathy for Leslie's comments about the head, but I don't know where I would have cropped that. Maybe I'd have cropped it a lot tighter, but then that would have messed up. It would have messed, you would have seen half a figure and so on. But
Yeah. And I did have to crop it a little bit in the front by the rug.
Yep.
Where at the very beginning, because I had part of the wood floor there, but there's crumbs and stuff and dust and stuff, so I didn't want to show that. So I just cropped it up a little bit. And
I see you went to the Mark Herbert School of Leveling.
Thank you. Thank you.
oh, yeah, I did straighten it. Oh. But I think that the fact that it's so disjointed is what I like about the picture. No head.
Mhm.
My wife looking in another direction. I mean,
Well, this is life from the dog's lens. This is what the dog sees, right? Yeah.
I think this would be a really interesting image to see in mono too.
in what?
In what?
Mono, black and white,
Oh,
single
mono.
color.
Yeah.
It
Hit it, Graham.
huh?
Hit it. Hit it. Make it black and white.
Oh, yeah, it's really interesting.
Yeah.
The lighting over in the top left-hand corners comes out.
Actually, I like it better. I think I like it better in color just because of the way that the dog then really stands out from the background.
Yeah.
Yeah, because the sun on the dog is good.
Is there a phrase that's called like cinema verite, where it's just this is life, this is everyday life. Yeah.
Yeah, and you
Yeah.
go back to, I'm trying to think of it, who's the name of the photographer who toured, oh my God, Robert, and he did mainly mono work, and this reminds me of a lot of that 60s and 70s sort of styles.
Mm.
And that's why I like it in black and white. Yeah, good job, Bill.
Ah,
Wow.
that would be me. Can you hear me okay?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yes.
That would be my 4-year-old grandson sitting in front of a fire pit, totally dark out. And I don't have an iPhone. I hope this is for Android users as well.
Oh, of
But this
course.
is on my Android phone. And this is totally untouched right out of the camera.
Wow.
Mhm.
Totally
Really?
untouched.
Really nice.
Very nice.
Yes.
And it's the second or third one that I took of him at night with a pumpkin with some glowing, and it got some nice silhouettes and nice shadows, but what I learned was that, man, I have a Samsung 21, and it just did all the work. All I had to do was click the button.
Yeah.
So there it is.
Nice.
It's just
Thanks.
great.
I mean, that really shows how good the cell phone cameras are. these
Amazing.
days.
Absolutely. I think this is f1.8. Can you tell, Graham, what the numbers are? I don't remember.
Yep, f1.8.
Yeah. Like my camera could ever go to f1.8.
1250 ISO.
Right.
It's pretty clean for that sort of ISO too, honestly.
It is.
Mhm.
It is.
Yeah.
Mm.
But I think my grandson has the longest hair in North Carolina. Yeah.
Beautiful hair.
Good
It
job.
reminds me of my nephew when he was that age. I don't think his hair was quite that long, but the expression on his face is just fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was fun. It's
Nice
great
to
to see everybody. Y'all are doing great. I'm glad I could make it and join from time to time, and I appreciate the invite, Bill and Graham. So I'll try to make it whenever I can.
Well, most of us, you can't see us, Mark, but we're all kneeling in your presence now.
On
You're
the
all
name,
right.
We all want you to
We're all
continue
kneeling.
being with us.
Oh, yeah, right, Graham. I'll see you tomorrow, buddy.
No, Thursday.
Right.
Ooh,
Chris.
I gotta unmute here. That one's mine. AJ.
mm.
I was just walking the dogs early in the morning, and the light the way it came up in the sky kind of turned the tops of the trees orangish. So I snapped a photo.
It's lovely.
I didn't really do anything with it other than crop it.
Yeah, nicely seen.
Did you use an iPhone or an Android?
I have a Motorola Android.
Okay. And what kind of you just picked it up and snapped it, right? As opposed to setting anything. I'm just curious to know how people took the pictures.
Yeah, I did, because I just got the phone like 2 days before that, and I
Mhm.
haven't spent any time with the camera. It has three different
What phone is it? What kind of phone is it?
Motorola.
Motorola.
Yeah, and it has 3 different lenses on it.
Mm.
And but I haven't had a chance to play around with all the camera settings. So yeah, I just pulled it out of my pocket and took the shot.
It
I
worked.
I know I might have cropped it just a little bit more on the left. I don't know if anybody else thinks that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought about that, but I wanted to leave as much of that fence in as I could.
Okay.
But maybe taking that little tiny tree on the left-hand side out would have worked better.
Worth checking, worth
Yeah.
experimenting. I think you could also, if you chose to do some processing on it, get more drama in that sky.
Yeah, well, I did. The only thing I did is I assumed we were supposed to use our phone to do the processing too. So I did some brightness and contrast, I think maybe, but I didn't. I probably, if I had brought the saturation up just a tiny bit, that would have helped a lot.
Yep, and a bit of contrast in the sky. If you could do
It
it.
was an overcast day, right?
Yes. It was early in the morning too, like 7 o'clock, 6:30, something like that.
Before the clocks changed.
So the sun's coming up underneath the cloud layer. That's so very dramatic.
Nicely seen.
Yeah, very nice.
Okay, thanks, AJ. That's good. And I don't think, by the way, we had any rules on where you had to process.
right.
Oh, all right.
Yeah.
Well, I decided to try it on the phone anyway. So
Both are pretty good. I mean, for those who, I'm trying to think of the context now. I think most of you know, we were away. We went to Tennessee to shoot and smoke it with friends from California. And we have a standing joke that Richard is an excellent photographer, but his wife was a professional photographer for many years. And now she has a little dinky phone. And she's using a lot of apps on iPhones along with another friend. So she was going to send a list to, she's converted Jody to doing iPhone and iPad processing. And some of the stuff that's coming out from folks I know, it's hard to tell where it came from. So there are some spectacularly good apps on phones and tablets, as far as I can see. Now, I don't know whether they're on Android as well as iPhone. These are iPhone users, but it's definitely worth checking out. And of course, those of you who are using Lightroom or Adobe's apps know there was a huge upgrade last week or the week before. And the iPad stuff is dramatically improved. So you've got Photoshop and Lightroom on iPad that are really starting to do some spectacular things. So worth checking out, I think. But other apps work well too.
Yep.
Halloween.
Whose is this?
It's Beth's. She's muted.
There we go. That was my Halloween entry, but then I realized we weren't doing Halloween, so just skip that one. Yeah.
No, I love it. It's
I mean, I know
gourmet. It's
Halloween
gourmet
great one.
candy corn.
Oh, we're not skipping this. No, it's a no
Original.
subject.
Like it.
I think this is an example of the quality of images that, you know.
Yeah.
Are you using a 13, Beth?
A 12. I have a 12.
Well,
And all of the post-processing on this one and the other one, I did on the phone and not using an app, just what's available from the camera. Mhm.
Beth, did you just shoot this, or did you fiddle with, focus, lock, and, all the other things that were on some of the videos that we saw?
That's it.
Okay, and you just used you didn't use the macro or the.
No, I cropped it in a little bit. I took it from further back. I'm learning. You can put on your screen, you can have it show what's outside the image
Right,
you're
yep.
taking. And so I hadn't used that on the chapel one, but I found that really handy, because then you can sort of give you an idea of what you can leave out, but what you can, crop it down to. So, but this one I did end up cropping down a little bit. There was a lot more of the candy on the left. And this is kind of curious. I thought the candy corn, I wanted to straighten it, but when I straightened the candy corn, the horizon, the shelf wasn't right. So
Right.
I said, okay, well, the candy corn's going to be crooked.
Well, I think the candy corn being crooked is great, because that's the way things are in life,
Yeah, one of those hangy things,
Life is crooked.
I'm not coming to
Suspect. We have suspect candy corn.
Yeah.
But I think the coloring and it's visually very impressive.
Yeah, I did play with the saturation and the vibrance to try and make it snappy or pop, I guess is the word. Yeah.
That's good. I'm not coming to your house, so there's no real chocolate here.
No, that was at the grocery
Milk
store.
duds down at the bottom.
Milk duds, yeah.
Nope.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Milk duds are not chocolate.
They're chocolate
There
covered.
Yeah,
Candy
no,
corn isn't corn.
no,
Yeah,
that's
right.
qualify. They're chocolate covered.
Chocolate covered is not chocolate.
Right, that's
It's
right.
chocolate covered.
Wow.
Nice.
That's great pick.
Wow.
Okay, that's mine from the last weekend at the Outer Banks.
Beautiful.
This was actually the day that we showed up, Saturday in the afternoon. And normally the sky over the ocean doesn't have a lot of clouds and a lot of the red pop in there, but this was just astounding for the day. I mean, and this is what it looked like. I mean, all I did to this is maybe just crop it a little bit. And then what I always do in Photoshop Elements, I do the haze reduction, and I just do it at the default, and that's it. But it was just spectacular. I mean, it's one of those days where you might not have taken some pictures of it and just stared at it, because it was a beautiful day.
Beautiful.
What time of day was it, Bill?
That was probably 5 o'clock in the afternoon.
Uh-huh.
Wow.
The
Nice.
sun was going down over the sound, and during the golden hour, but it was reflecting still. It was enough to reflect off the clouds over the ocean. It was dramatic.
That's really good.
And what
Really now.
The resolution on the ocean is amazing. I mean, I was taking
Yeah.
pictures. I was at the beach the week before, and I couldn't get anything close to that. That's lovely.
And this
Susan, were
is
you using a camera or were you using your phone?
this is my $50 Samsung.
Yeah. Very nice. I mean, just show you what-
Well, it just goes to show you what they say in all those videos. You don't have to have an expensive camera to take a good photograph.
right. Yep. Very much so. Good job.
Very nice.
Oh,
Nice.
Oh, that's
fine,
lovely.
Betty. Because I thought we had to have something Halloween, and I really was tired of pumpkins and stuff. So I was playing with, I got a new 13 iPhone and used the macro kind of thing for the little witch. And
Nice.
then I just stuck it in Photoshop Elements and put a different background.
Oh, you didn't take that with you? That's not,
No, it's not. I took a bunch of pumpkins. I did all the kind of things that were Halloween, but I didn't like any of them. And I like this little witch who sits on our windowsill at Halloween. But there wasn't much, interesting in the background. So I just went on Photoshop Elements, and this is just a canned, background thing. And so I was kind of playing with replacing backgrounds anyway. So I liked it. It was
fun.
Great job.
Yeah,
Very
that's nice.
fun. Just fun. Yeah.
Fun thing.
Betty, how did you cut this out in Elements?
Well, yeah, don't look too close at the edges because that's where the problem is.
Yeah.
Pretty good though.
Yeah, I just used the brush or something like that. Nothing very sophisticated. I go to the guided part of Photoshop Elements and just to do that kind of stuff.
Is there the ability to select by subject and focus area and color in Elements?
Yes.
Is that only in Photoshop?
They have that, but it really screwed it up. It took off half her dress and I don't know what when I tried to do it that way. So finally I just went to something where I outlined it myself.
It's interesting because I've been playing with that in Photoshop, and I updated the image for Stella's website, her author website, and I took a shot. She complained because we were using a stock photo on the website. Why isn't it me? And so I took out the background just by selecting. And I was amazed and looking at the hair here, and on Jodie's photograph on the headshot, she has long blonde hair, and it extracted the individual strands of hair, and I made it into a PNG. And if anybody's interested, stellafoss.com, just look at the homepage. And I was astounded with what you can do with that select subject nowadays. It's spectacular.
What was it again? What was this?
The website is stellafoss.com.
Okay.
And it's for little old ladies, not for little old men.
And none of you see my friend here?
There you go.
Yes.
This is Elrod. He sits out on the chair in my porch and looks out on the cul-de-sac that is very near where Betty lives.
Right. Well, we can get them together.
Absolutely. All right. Goodbye, Elrod.
Romance in the air.
Okay. Nice work. I like the selection of the background. It fits perfectly. The color match.
Yeah, it really does.
Good job. There's some strange looking chap here.
Yeah, I guess that's me.
Yeah.
Yeah, most of my photos for the last several months have been cottywomple photos, and this one was taken last week, last Sunday, or Sunday a week ago, yeah. And I took it with the iPhone, and I had, to make things easier on traveling by motorcycle, I've added a Joby little Joby tripod, which is quicker to set up than the Peak Design, and set that out. And I was cruising and looking for veterans memorials around the area. And this, I just liked the way the lighting was. It was like 9:58 in the morning, and I'd never visited this memorial before. It's a little washed out in the background and a little bright on the light on the grass in the foreground, but I just thought it was interesting lighting.
Yeah, nice.
It's nice. How did you get, did you use a delayed start, on the phone, or did you use a remote, or how did you actually?
Well, on the, I have an Apple Watch.
Oh,
And so you can do a remote control
okay.
with the phone. Even the image shows up on the camera app on the watch, so you can you can judge the framing and everything.
Mm-hmm.
My God.
Yeah, that's good.
Can I
Nice.
ask what the 175 means?
That's my Cottywomple number. This is part of the Grand Cottywomple.
I guess I
the-
don't know that word.
Well, Cottywomple means to travel to an indefinite, traveling purposefully to an indefinite location. And this year, the BMW Motorcycle Owners of America decided that they would host the first annual Grand Cottywomple.
Hmm.
And so basically it's a scavenger hunt is all it is. And yeah, so I put over 13,500 miles on my motorcycle from April 1st to October 31st,
Wow.
traveling to find places that would score points in the Cottywomple. So
Nice work.
Yeah.
But,
great.
How many points did you get for this?
this would be Military Falls and challenge, and that's 50 points. Most of the challenges are 50 points. The spelling Saddle Up and Ride with the post offices from 15 different states is a platinum, and that's worth 600 points. But everything else is worth like 50 points a photo.
And then every time you have to submit the photo with your number on it to get the point?
Yeah, the photo has to be you with the flag or the motorcycle with the flag, and the content of the photo has to meet the challenge requirements. So yeah, so
Very fun. Sounds like a fun thing to do.
yeah, I found there was like approximately 70 to 80 historic markers throughout the state of North Carolina that pertain to either the French and Indian War, the Civil War, or the Revolutionary War. And I've visited about every one, I think.
Wow.
Very good.
Nice.
Nice project.
And actually, one thing I wanted to mention on that is I'm really impressed with the Joby Pro 2, I think it's called. It's a short little tripod. You can wrap it around fence posts or tree branches to elevate it. It's only about maybe 12 to 14 inches tall. But it's a easy to carry tripod if anybody's.
Did you have to buy an attachment for the phone, or did that come with it?
That came with it.
Okay.
How do you spell that?
Joby.
Joby, Joby. Thank
Yeah.
you.
I think it was the Joby Grip 2 Pro
Yeah.
or something like that. It was about $69 on Amazon. Does that sound right?
Yeah, I would buy it from B&H Photo, which is $69.
Okay. They had all different, price range with various amounts of complexity or whatever. But that's great. Yeah.
Nice.
Good
So
stuff.
this one's mine, AJ. Again, the only thing I did here was I cropped it a little, and I think brightness and contrast. Looking at it again now, looks a little different here than on my phone. I probably would have pushed the saturation just a tiny bit on this one also, but I didn't. That's basically what came out of the phone.
Cool.
I like the way the reflection in the water isn't all there. There's water disturbance, so you get 3 different ways of the water being. I think it's really interesting.
Well, there's a green slime or something on part of the lake here, part of the pond.
Well, then
So-
maybe it's not so interesting.
That's why you're not seeing the reflection close in
Oh,
to the
okay.
trees.
That works well. Nicely done.
I
you just-
especially like the little leaves that are in the foreground.
Mm.
Yeah.
I think that really makes it just very interesting.
Yeah, I had cropped them out and I didn't like the way it looked, so I
Mm.
No.
back in.
And
I would
you
have taken out
took
the
it-
little red one though.
Red one.
Yeah.
This one?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, right there. Gotcha.
And you just took the picture by just, I mean, you didn't do anything with the settings on the phone?
No, like I said before, I haven't really looked at the settings to see
Right,
exactly what
that's
my
true,
phone
sorry.
can do.
Great,
Good
man.
job.
Very clear picture, that's for sure. That's mine. And, you know,
Oh,
Oh,
I'm
Like
the
it.
third Halloween person, and I didn't do anything to these photographs. I broke my wrist. So now I have two hands that don't work very well. So I was lucky enough to just get this photograph, and I took this was Bynum Bridge on
Right.
Halloween, and it was just a whole lot of fun. First of all, you know, I highly recommend people go down there next year. But I wanted to see how the phone would work in this kind of low light setting, because this obviously the sun has already gone down, and I noticed that the trees in the background are really fuzzed out, but I had to hold the camera still for 3 seconds. That was an automatic thing that happened when I just took the photograph. So I'm really pretty pleased that the foreground and the pumpkin came out pretty clear.
Yeah,
That works
nice.
well.
And I like the way it's framed. I mean, I took a gazillion of these pumpkins, but this one, I like the way the river goes off, sort of off into the distance.
Yeah.
and
Yeah,
the right
yeah.
side.
Mhm.
composition's great.
Oh, thanks.
And was there candle inside the pumpkin? Is
Yes,
that what the
yes,
light?
these are, they're not cut through pumpkins. They're just scraped out enough on the inside and then carved on the outside so that the light, it's translucent.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there were a bunch of these. I mean, if anybody's interested, I can share the photographs that I have, but there were some really amazing pumpkin carvings there.
Real art there.
Yeah.
Mm.
My pictures are also from Bynum Bridge, but
Oh, cool.
I like the fact that you got the background
Mhm.
there, because I was there later, and I really like that you got the pumpkin plus the background, you know.
Yeah, I was really pleased with that too,
I like
Susan,
that.
because,
I
yeah,
like
because the ones, when I went through the pictures, as it got darker, you know, of course, it was just the orange pumpkin in a black background. But this one really sort of speaks to me somehow. I don't know.
Yeah.
And that's got a candle in it,
Yes.
and but the face is just drawn on there, right?
No, it's not drawn, it's carved.
Wow, that is amazing.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, what they carve it, you know, they don't have to carve it that deep on the face of the pumpkin, because a lot of these have a big hole cut out the back, and then the inside has been scraped so that there's less pulp for the candle to have to go through.
Cool.
Yeah.
So the
And
skin
there-
is, they just skin the surface and that allows the light to come through brighter.
Right. I
in
mean,
those
the
areas.
darker parts are where there's the orange pumpkin skin is still there. And there was one pumpkin that was really quite amazing, because they had, Susan, I don't know if you remember this one or not, but they had sort of carved it in and then carved it deeper so that the whole thing, none of the face was on the surface. It was all recessed and it looked really good.
Wow.
So, I mean, truly some amazing artists here. There was one pumpkin that had 5 faces on it and used the noses and the eyes over and over again around the pumpkin. You know, so the right eye on this guy here would have become the left eye on the next face over.
Oh.
And you keep on turning it, and there were, it was fascinating. Anyway, I was just sort of
The
interested. to see
Pumpkin
how the-
Fest here at Farrington Village the last 2 years, some of the most extraordinary pumpkin carving I've ever seen.
Where in Farrington do they show them? Or just at people's
Well, it's
house?
in the village. There are about 60 or 70 pumpkins, maybe 100 pumpkins that have been carved by the staff
Every one of them is, I think, asked to make a contribution. And it's 2 days running on a weekend, and it's attended by hundreds, if not even 1,000 people.
Well, you have to keep me informed about next year. Oh,
Not-
this is the
not-
one I was
not
talking
this
about.
year. It didn't
Okay.
happen this year.
Susan, this is exactly the one I was talking about. I'm so glad you
Okay.
put the picture in.
Yeah, this was fine, and this is also from Bynum Bridge.
Did you use a flash?
No, that was the amazing thing to me. I got there and I started using flash, and I realized I didn't need to use a flash.
Because when I took those pictures of the same pumpkin, it all came out orange, not white like that.
Yeah, I was surprised with the iPhone. I didn't use the flash.
Well, it's a beautiful picture. I love the way the way you've centered it.
Nice.
Mm.
Nicely seen. That's superb.
True.
That is really awesome.
Really,
I
yeah,
wish you'd
great.
known you were going to be there, Susan. We could have gone together.
No, next year, definitely.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. Awesome.
Yeah, this is also mine. And the other one was, I referred to as the scary pumpkin, and this was the happy pumpkin.
Now, did you do anything with the settings, or you just took a picture?
Well, I have to confess, I edited after I straightened it because it was I straightened it a little so the eyes would more or less be fine with each other because it was a little crooked. And then I did play a little bit with the color, and I also played a little bit with the in-painting brush tool.
And did you have to hold the phone still for 3 seconds too?
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't think so, but I'm not sure.
Okay.
Quarter of a second.
Quarter of a second, okay.
And did you take the background out, or was it that dark?
This one was pretty dark. The other one, I did take a little bit of the background out at the top. It did have, like Leslie's background, it had a little bit of the trees, but this one, no. And I'm trying to remember, maybe on the bottom, I might have made it a little blacker. There might have been a little bit of stuff there that was coming through.
Good work.
Nicely placed.
Good work.
Was there a large crowd? There's a lot of people looking at all the pumpkins there this year.
Oh yeah. And I was with a friend, and she kept walking ahead of me because I kept just taking pictures. And I did take a picture of the thing that Leslie was talking about with all the different faces. One face blending into another.
I've done that with a tripod before with my other SLR camera, and it was a challenge not having people walk in front or stumble around.
Yeah, that's one of the advantages of being short. You can often get in front of people.
Right, exactly.
Right.
Good job.
Okay.
All the Bynum ones are great.
Okay, this one's me. That was again last week when I was walking Maggie out at duck, but this is on the sound side. There weren't many nights that had great clouds or anything really. So here what I did is I only was able to get those clouds that are up there, but then there's also some clouds along the horizon.
Yeah.
And I had the boat in the middle this time where, yeah, it was actually, there's some people at the end of that pier there, and so it included the boat as well. But it was just such a, again, serene kind of feeling night. I didn't try to pull out too much as far as shadows go because I wanted to keep the mood. And again, this was just basically maybe a little crop, maybe haze removal, and that's it.
Can we see that one in black and white? I like it better the other way.
Yep.
Nice pick.
Very beautiful.
Yeah.
I really like this. I'm thinking that I would take a little bit of that foreground out of it, just cropped it out just a little bit. To me, there's too much darkness in the very, very front. Just a little bit on the bottom, but man, I love the way you got the colors and the horizon, and you got the pier on both sides. I mean, this tells a really nice story. It really does.
Well,
What's that thing? What's that thing on the right in the middle? What is that thing? I can't tell.
Right in the middle.
No, right. It's on the right side. Yeah, right there. What is that?
That's another little place where people walk out on,
Oh, okay.
like a boardwalk.
No, not the boardwalk. There's some kind of building in front of it.
Yeah, yeah.
I with my phone, I cropped that out of there, and I don't know how I did it, but I did. But there it is.
Yeah, but then you lose that beautiful orange. Right.
Yeah.
You do. I agree. Yeah, you're right. You're right.
Yeah.
And I tend to keep some of that dark foreground because it kind of walks you into the light.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then if you would crop out too much on the bottom, now your horizon, your horizon would be in the center instead of maybe on a third. So it's one of those trade-offs.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it would change the mood too, I think, Bill.
Yeah.
You know, you were saying before,
Mhm.
kind of the mood of the picture. I like the darkness.
Me too.
What's amazing to me is that the pier on the left, the posts line up just with the horizon.
Yeah, you're right.
Just amazing to me.
I want to walk out on that pier and get in that boat and go out on the lake. It just draws me in.
And that's the first time I've ever actually seen a boat out there. Yeah, and we're out there pretty frequently. And I had some other images from other nights in the same place, but I thought the boat was it was unique to me.
Bill, just let me know if you ever need a dog walker or tripod setter upper when you go to the beach next time.
Well, this trip that we went out, we were actually sitting here at home like 8:30 in the morning on a Friday, and we were asking each other, we're gonna have any more trips this year? And next thing you know, an hour later we had reservations, and the next day we left.
Wow.
We're a little spontaneous.
Mm-hmm.
Good.
That's cool.
Mine.
Ooh.
Wow.
Mine, Chris. This is kind of in keeping with my scrapbooky kind of photography, situational stuff. This guy is about 35 feet up there. There was a tree branch that was rubbing against this other tree there, and it was ruining both of them. So we decided, I use a group called The Treeist, and we decided that that branch should come down. I took pictures of him going all the way up, and there was a branch in the way of this, and he wasn't looking my way and that, and he's not there to take care of my photographic needs. But he got all the way up there, and so I decided to do what I don't ordinarily do. I said, "Hey, Marcus," and he looked my way, and I said, raise that chainsaw for me and give me a big smile," and he did. It kind of makes the photograph, I think, and it would go in a Shutterfly book that I've started for next year.
And you didn't even have to pay him
magnification.
You didn't even have to pay him the modeling fee.
Nah, not at all.
Well,
I also was testing the magnification, the clarity of magnification on my iPhone 12. So this is 5.5, and it came out very clear.
5.5.
That's in the optical zoom range.
What's 5.5? I don't understand.
The zoom.
Yeah, but
it's a zoom on the iPhone. I don't know what it means. I assume that it means 5 times what you get if you just take a picture.
Is that a 13 that you have? Is it an iPhone 13?
12.
12. Because mine says 0.5, 1, and then 2.
Yeah, and then if you turn the dial on the 2, you'll come up with you get into the digital
Oh,
zoom.
right. Okay,
So
got
that's
it.
digital zoom 5.5.
Yep, sorry.
So are
Mine-
these extra things with the 12, or is there a zoom? What?
There's digital zoom on
There's a-
iPhones since the iPhone 3 or 5 or 6. I mean, it's been a long time.
So are you just talking about like using your fingers to make it bigger to zoom in?
No.
Or is
No.
there something else?
Susan,
Yeah.
I'm happy to get together with you and show you what I know about the iPhone.
Okay. Yeah.
Just let
So
me-
So I
to
don't know if you can
clarify, there's from the iPhone 11, I believe, I'm not sure before models, but iPhone 11, 12, and 13, I also have a Pro model, which has an extra lens. It has 3 lenses instead of 2. And one of those lenses is an optical zoom versus the digital zoom with the non-Pro models. So with the optical, you get a lot closer optically, and then you can digitally zoom past that as well. So there's
That's what
different
this is.
levels.
Is that what you did? For this
Yeah, well,
photograph?
yeah, I use that particular lens.
Mhm.
And it's great, but it's not SLR in terms of what you can shoot at a long range. But that's not my meat, basically.
How far away was that?
It was about 25 to 30 feet up.
Hmm.
And
Those guys they're real tree monkeys, aren't they?
Oh, they're amazing. Yeah, these guys just go up there like they're a squirrel.
I might be way off with this, but I seem to remember that with the iPhone, it's not a bad idea to not zoom in, take the picture, and then when you post-process, when you edit and crop, am I right that you get your images sharper when you do it that way than if you try to do the zoom on the
I
lens?
think that's been my experience, Beth, but it's a trade-off sometimes, which is better.
Mhm.
So
Again, it comes down to if you're starting with whatever the maximum that particular lens, if it's even adjustable on the lens of the phone, then you take that picture and then you can, if you go beyond that, you go into digital level, which is you're going to do in your post-processing anyway. So whatever you can get, starting with your lens zoom, if you have that capability on your phone, if the lens itself can zoom, then you get the max physical, if you will, optical zoom, and then stick with that. And then afterwards, as you say, post-processing, go with your other additional cropping, zooming, etc., to preserve your image quality. Otherwise, you're working with a degraded image to start with.
Yeah, I found that I have a point and shoot that optically will go to what they say 30x, but digitally I can go to 60. And it just doesn't, it's not worth it. You go optically as far as you can, because your digital zoom in post-processing is better than what you can get on the camera.
Mhm.
This one is mine again. This is a food truck. Here at Farrington, we have food trucks that come, I guess it's on Fridays. I don't go because they're all ethnic driven and I'm allergic to spicy food. So it's not my cup of food, but I happen to be going down to get my mail at the kiosk at the gathering place here, which is where the food trucks assemble, and it's very popular. But they come right around dusk or 4 o'clock or something like that. And this guy apparently had broken down. So this was taken at 9:30 at night. And this poor guy was still there waiting for, I'm not sure what, but help in some respects. He was still lit up, but all you could see was the outline of the blue. And I drove up and I said, holy cow, what the hell is that? And then so I swung around with the headlights on my car, And I therefore saw exactly what it was. And I said what I say to myself many times, holy cow, that's a picture. And lo and behold, around from the back of the truck comes this guy. And I said, hey, pal, stand over there and let me take your picture because I'm entering a photo contest and this would make a great one. And he obliged. And actually, it's amazing how many people will oblige you if you ask. Farrington stays away from, in terms of pictures that they use for any particular reason, photos that have identifiable people. And in that regard, just for anybody who lives in Farrington, and gets the Belty Gazette, our newsletter, 6 of my photographs will be featured in the newsletter as other photographers, namely Matthew Levitt, who it was, I hesitate to say because he's no longer with us, a professional photographer of bugs and beetles and insects and butterflies and things of that nature. But they feature a photographer every month, and my 6 pictures will be in there in the January issue, which I think probably comes out around December 28th, which means nobody will see it because they'll be doing something else.
Well, somebody get a copy of that for me. I would love, congratulations. I would love to see your photographs in that.
I will send them to you.
Thank you.
Okay, this is mine too, Betty, and this is the 13 Pro telephoto, optical zoom, probably at the max yet, I think. I took this because, most of the fall foliage pictures just had leaves all over everything. And I thought, here these guys are working so hard to remove every little bit, of fall foliage. I mean, all the leaves had to go on the side of the road and it had to look very manicured. But anyway, it was, I just enjoyed watching them. And
wonderful depth in it.
Yeah. Betty, where is this?
It's Briar Chapel.
Oh, okay.
Where we often walk on the bike trails, through the woods there. And in the early morning, it just swarmed with all these landscapers, who are cleaning every last leaf off the side of the road. So
it's a great photograph. I mean, it reminds me of like a kid's toy game that I used to have that, were like little figurines that you could just place randomly.
Yes.
I mean, that's what it looks like to me, that somebody just plopped these workers down.
I was amazed though, because I basically had, for the last week or two, been playing with the new iPhone, and I was pretty impressed with what I could get with the telephoto.
Yeah.
And this is quite cropped down actually to get
amazing,
a bit closer with it.
But isn't Briar Chapel supposed to be an ecologically friendly?
Yeah.
Well, then they shouldn't be cleaning the leaves off the ground.
They're still trying to sell their houses.
Oh,
once you get in the woods and the bike trails, then it's ecological.
Yeah.
It's gone quite a ways away from that promo. It's been a lot of greenwashing over the years. They started off very pro environment, and it's been a struggle. I've been struggling against some interference with the ecology of Pokeberry Creek over the past 3 years.
Do you live in Briar Chapel?
I live across the creek in Polk's Landing.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
well, good luck on your fight.
You live at the back.
Thanks.
We live in Fieldstone, so you're almost next door, I think.
Yes.
Interesting. Okay.
That's mine. This was shot at, I think it's a peony bush that was in flower last week on Caswell Square in Farrington Village. This is a very highly cropped image. The photo I took originally, this is maybe a 10th of the frame.
Wow.
And at first I really didn't think much of the photo I took, and then I started playing with it and focusing on the flower. And as severely cropping in, you can see it's like a very soft focus effect. And but I was surprised that it wasn't, how should I said, more digital artifacts or something in it. But anyway, this is I played a little bit with the levels, and that's about it.
Excellent.
Yeah.
So Mike, do you think that the softness came from the cropping or from the photograph at its best, at its widest?
Well, the softness is my biggest critique of the iPhone camera, and probably this pertains to any phone camera, cell phone camera, is the sensor. The sensor is not the quality you'd get in a full frame sensor, or even a good crop sensor.
That's what I'm trying to get at. What are the practical limits of cropping,
yeah, and
or of blowing up a iPhone photograph?
Yeah, and this is what you're seeing that here is that there's a softness. It doesn't have the pixel count. Or now the thing I do like about this is an iPhone 13 photo, and the iPhone 13 does have a larger sensor, or a larger sensor. They didn't increase the pixel count, the resolution, but the pixels in the sensor are larger and they get more light. This was an overcast day in the late afternoon, and so there's a softness to it. But the cell phones do a lot of stuff behind the scenes with software that it's hard to really evaluate. But I think, this image, when I cropped it down and sent it to I think it's like 700, under 700 thousand bytes. So it's less than a megabyte. So you're looking at it, and typically I think on the iPhone 13, they're roughly 7 or 8 gigabytes on a full photo. So this is really cropped in.
Are you shooting RAW, Mike?
Yeah, but I'm still trying to figure that out on the iPhone, because anytime I transfer it, it transfers over as a JPEG. And so it ends up, coming out. This is a JPEG image.
Right.
But at the same time, there are filters like that people use on purpose to get this kind of softness. So,
Awesome.
I was really, the more I worked on this, the more I really appreciated the quality of the sensor. I think it's a nice sensor on the latest iPhone.
It's really good. That's excellent.
Thank you.
Beautiful.
Anybody laying claim?
That's mine. This
A
is
longhorn steer.
This is a hornbeam, also known as a muscle tree for obvious reasons. Very hard wood, and it's they're all over the place in along Pokeberry, and this is Upper Pokeberry on the west side of Great Ridge Parkway. So took that on Sunday, somewhat overcast day in the morning.
Great picture.
Nicely done.
Just caught my eye, and been there many times in that same spot, but just happened to look around and catch that perspective that I hadn't seen before. And it's like, yeah.
And did you fiddle with the settings on the iPhone, or just took it?
Just in terms of getting the framing is all. The only thing I did.
Nicely done.
Mhm.
Works well.
It's kind of like a wraith of the woods.
Mm.
Like the Haw River.
Uh-huh.
It is. And I popped it a little bit, I must admit, on elements to get more color out of the trees.
It's lovely.
Yeah, I like it.
It looks good.
I
And that's from a Samsung 10 iPhone. I mean, Samsung 10 cell phone.
And you did the processing on the phone, Larry?
No, I did it in elements.
Okay.
Did you do, did you do anything with the color?
Yeah, I goosed it a little bit.
Mhm.
I tried to bring out more color than was there.
Mhm.
That's not the way it really looked. But elements allows you to do that. So
Mhm.
So one of the things that, as we progress in this game, I find it's very useful to do is actually to do a selection before you push the colors in scenes like this. And then you get the things that you want to pop, and the rest of the image stays a little more neutral. If you do it everywhere, so one of the things in all of the amendments that, as we get a little more comfortable with it, is to do the selective enhancements or changes that you want rather than doing them globally. And this one, so I think the sky would have benefited from just locally selecting it. So next time you go back and process it, Larry, just try doing the bits that you want to pop, select them, and then do your enhancement and see whether you prefer that look or not.
So is that selective enhancing something in photo elements?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Is that the expert processing part, or there's the basic and then the guided and then the expert? Is the selective stuff in the third category, or?
Yeah, it's in the expert.
Yeah.
You may even want to look through the guided because there's so much in that guided area that can be helpful too.
Yeah, I've looked pretty much through everything in the guided and couldn't find, like what you're talking about here in terms of being able to just pick a certain amount and do saturation in one area.
Is it done by color or is it done by area? I mean, do you pick an area and work on it, or do you say, I want all the oranges to be brighter? Does anybody know?
I don't know in elements. I mean, I use Lightroom, and I would do either or both depending on what it was.
Mhm.
It's certainly an option in Lightroom, but I don't know elements, I'm afraid. So,
Okay. Anybody in elements know that question answer?
I know in photos, like, if you want the reds to pop, you can do that, but then you're stuck with all the reds.
Right.
So
it'd be sort of like putting a lasso around it and then editing that part, I guess?
yes, that's what I would like to see, something like that. But that must be in the expert, because I have looked for it in the guided part.
cool.
I have been looking for it also and have not found a good way. I have selected pieces and changed the exposure, but I have not brought out color yet in my playing with elements.
it might be something for the future where some of us who use elements could use a little bit
Larry, I really like this. It works.
Yeah, and in Photoshop, you can do a color selection. So you would zoom in on the reds and just do a color selection, and it would pick out all the reds. And you can control the variation on the reds so that you get more or less. You get only the bright red, or you get some that are kind of orangish, and then you can selectively change the saturation on just the pixels that are.
Whoa.
Wow.
See, that's my photograph there.
Nice sky, very nice sky.
Very nice.
Nice lighting.
Right place, right time.
Exactly. I pulled off the side of the road and went, whoa. February, I just looked on my phone. It's February 19th of early this year.
And do you remember, this was with your iPhone?
Yeah, I have a cheap iPhone. What do they call it? SE, the cheapest, but it's pretty new. Yeah, it was like, whoa.
Yeah.
It's on Crawford Dairy Road for those of you who are
Wow.
familiar with
Beautiful
the area.
photograph. Wow.
And I did a lot of, excuse me?
I like that you left the little piece of road down in the front.
Yeah, I like that.
I like that.
I took, there's a kind of a 1950s ranch house right in the middle, and I removed it.
Oh.
Whoa, you removed a whole house?
Yeah, he did that before he took the picture.
Wow.
Good job.
So anyway, yeah, I was like, oh, that's
Oh, wow. That's
Beautiful.
Very nice.
oh, that's
Wow.
Mm,
So this was also
fantastic.
mine. Yeah, this is at the Botanical Garden a couple of weeks ago.
oh.
These I call this Boogie in the Bog. I
Was
just
the
see all
background-
these.
Did you make it black in the background or how's, did you?
Yeah, I took the background out.
It's
Is that
really
a
striking.
live picture or is that one of the sculptures? Because it's sculpture time at the Botanical.
Yeah, no, these are picture plants, and there was a big. It's right there in the courtyard, sort of right as soon as you come in.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
And there's a big. It's about 3 feet across, full of picture plants, and this
Right.
was a group that I saw hanging off the edge, sort of.
Yeah, I have some pictures actually from there.
Yeah,
Wonderful photograph.
Nicely seen.
I just thought they were the happiest group of plants I've ever seen. They just look like they're having a ball.
Yeah, they
do
look like they're
sort of
talking.
talking to each other, don't they?
Yeah.
Yeah, or yakking or singing. I think they're singing myself.
Oh, that's even better. Yeah.
Was that was just the natural light coming from the sun in, or what? How did
Yeah.
it like that?
Yeah.
Just wonderful. Wonderful.
So I did a lot of, I kind of, well, let's see. On the left-hand side, if you come down 4 plants, there's a little one there, right down near the bottom.
Mm-hmm.
And I moved him from the far right.
Oh.
Moved him, put him over there. Hey, Graham, if you could go back to that previous one, I don't know if that's asking too much. Yeah, and make it black and white. It really looks pretty cool that way.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, there we go. Those trees they just jumped up. Thank you.
That's mine. Again, that was just a plant in front of a business on Franklin Street that I took yesterday. And in this one, I was just checking to see what this was on I think I put it on the macro setting and then just took a photograph to see what would be in focus and what wouldn't be in focus. There's no post-processing to it whatsoever. If I was going to post-process it, I'd probably take the colored stuff from the window up in the upper right-hand corner out. But I think in terms of what's in focus and what isn't, it's pretty interesting.
Yes.
Yeah.
It was
Is that river oats?
probably, I'm not really sure, but it was incredibly windy. That was the other thing. So this is sort of stop action also, because I mean, at one point the plant almost blew over.
Yeah. Well, it's a nice subject.
Good. Well, that's it. What a good collection. You guys did a great job.
Remarkable.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
That was a fun one to do.
Quite a variety of images. Yeah.
I like these open-ended things.
Cool. Good work all around.
I
Well, I
got
hear
a
it's
low,
beautiful.
I got a low battery. I gotta go. Sorry, guys. It was, all right, bye.
Don't
Bye,
forget,
Dan.
Um,
Thank you, guys.
don't forget your comments and rustle up all the folks you know who've been part of the group and
Okay.
ask them for their feedback too, please. And we'll see you on the 23rd.
Bill, don't forget
I
to
hear
send me
it's-
the contacts.
All right,
Please.
I got